again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Brown's Latest. I'm Dave Grendzynski, but you can call me Grizzer. A lot of people do, and this is where we get you caught up on some of the latest news and tidbits that are tied to our favorite team in the NFL, the Cleveland Browns, and then we give you our take on the news along the way. Thank you to everybody who has liked our previous episodes, who have subscribed to the channel, and to all of you who get your comments down there in the viewer comment section. And I am happy to report that today is a show where all three topics were inspired by a viewer comment. So let's get to it. We are entering week 3 of the search for a new head coach. But it appears that we are torn between a leader and an offensive guru. One of the reasons Browns fans will be unsure of whoever we choose to be the head coach is because of the team's track record when it comes to these sorts of things. I've been telling you, we have to look at Shadeur as our quarterback of the future. Now, today, we have another reason. And in the viewer comments, what the stats on Shadeur Sanders don't always reflect. There you go. But first things first, oh my gosh, it is like almost impossible to keep up with the news anymore. But we're down to 7 openings. Now that Stefanski took the Falcons job, and oh boy, poor Atlanta. Woo! Poor Atlanta. Good luck with that. And word is Tommy Boy's running down there to go be with him. So I think Tommy Boy has 1 foot out the door at this point. But Browns, Steelers, Ravens, Titans, Cardinals, Dolphins, Raiders. So Steelers talking to Mike McCarthy. I have a feeling that's going to be it. I think that's going to happen because he's from Pittsburgh. And so came out of the blue. They'll just get a Pittsburgh guy in there, and that'll be that. The Titans are speeding up their search. They're now that Robert Saleh is available after the 49ers lost, they're bringing him in instead of doing a virtual first. They're like, let's go. They're ramping it up. Things are going to start happening fast. It's going to be very difficult to keep up with everything. But here we go. Here's where we're at as of this recording. Schwartz, he's here today for his interview, the in-person, the second one. Then you got Monken tomorrow. And you got former Miami head coach Mike McDaniel. He'll be here Wednesday for his second interview. And then you'll have second interviews with Jaguars OC, Grant Udinski, Chargers defensive coordinator, Jesse Minter, and Rams pass game specialist, Nate Scheelhaas. They will all get second interviews. Been a request made of Rams defensive coordinator, Chris Shula, so that one is still on the books. But Tommy Rees, I think this will be the last time you see him on our list. I think he will come off after today. I don't think he's in the mix, and I don't even think he's in the mix for OC anymore. So I think that ship has sailed. The days of Tommy Boy are over from the looks of it. I told you the Bengals wouldn't let Pitcher out of the building. And Dirty, I mean, they're busy. They look so good the other night. So, I mean, you're not even going to get to him until next week if you want to talk to him again. So, that's where we stand right now with all of this. And when you look at the comments and you hear people talk and you look at different places, the thing that is I guess compelling is that there are people who want the leader to be the head coach, or then there's the other people who want the offensive guru. And this was sparked by this viewer comment, this topic. And you see here, it's from Charles Askew, 8619, who said, Grant Udinski is a good head coaching candidate. However, don't look to him to be a play caller. He's more of a CEO type. However, Scheelhaas would probably make a great play caller, but he's more of the coordinator mold. And here's the thing. Udinski, man, he's remember Rams. Sean McVay was 30 when the Rams hired him. Udinski's 30. He currently profiles as the stronger NFL head coaching candidate when you compare him to Shieldhouse. I mean, look what he did in Minnesota with Darnold. Darnold threw for 4,300 yards and 35 touchdowns with him. And then Trevor Lawrence had his best season of the year. When you look at it, career high in wins. Down the stretch, his last 6 games, he went 15 touchdowns, 1 interception, did Trevor Lawrence. He has a let it rip mentality. That's what they say. We got a quarterback who likes to let it rip. Shieldhouse, on the other hand, excellent foundation is what they say. Definitely going to be a head coach at some point, but they feel that he needs to be an offensive coordinator, for at least a year. He's a pass game coordinator right now, still learning on the job, but he's 5 years older than Udinski. It's crazy, I know. But that's where we're at. And so you've got Schwartz, you got your leader types, Minter, Schwartz, guys like that. Then you got your offensive gurus. And it's almost, to me, it's almost split down the middle, which way people want to go. I'm leaning towards leader because we haven't had one of those here. Honestly, I feel like since when Greg Williams was the interim coach for a few games, So and there's so many scenarios that can play out in this right now. So it's hard to speculate. But that's where we're at. You're either team leader or you're team offensive guru for head coach. I'm team leader guru for offensive coordinator. So, and you got some good ones with Shieldhouse. Monken's still in there too. Monken's in the mix. McDaniel. So you've got some options. You've got some options if you want to go that route. Now, here's the reason everybody, like all Browns fans, are leery when it comes to these types of decisions, whether it's drafting a quarterback, whether it's finding a head coach. It's because of the track record. We have a bad history. It's a history of bad Browns decisions that we've had to deal with. And this topic came from John Flanders, 6808, who said, "Did not take me a year to figure out that Watson should have never been signed. This front office simply struggles at great decisions." And that's the thing. Like, even the ones that, people thought, okay, this is a great decision. Or, I didn't think the Watson thing was a great decision. They didn't even work him out. And he hadn't played for 2 years. I've listed my reasons before. But John Flanders was like, it didn't take it. And that's the thing. There have been others where you're like, okay, I think we got something there. Look at the Stefanski thing. Even the Stefanski thing. Like, they interviewed him the year before and said no. And then they came back to him the next year because, honestly, that year, there really wasn't anybody else to pick from. But they had to make a change. And so they were like, well, let's just, I don't know. We talked to the Stefanski guy last year. What about him? Yeah, he's still not doing anything. Okay, yeah, let's go. Let's get him. Like, that's almost how it felt when they brought Stefanski in here, And then that just turned out to be, like, the offense has never been worse. And so it's just these bad decisions after bad decisions. And that's why the quarterback situation is such a touchy subject in Cleveland. We haven't gotten it right. We're on our 42nd quarterback here since, 99? It's very touchy subject. And finding a new head coach is a touchy subject as well. And I don't know. I feel like the Browns are vetting this thing. They're going through all of the scenarios. I honestly think that this is going to start coming together rather quickly. I think that they have combinations of, if Schwartz is the head coach, we want this guy here. Because that's what we're not like. If Schwartz is the head coach, who's taking over the defense? I laid out a plan yesterday. Doesn't mean they'll do it. I mean, they haven't even talked to Banda yet. So we'll have to see if he gets on the list this week. But that could happen after they name Schwartz. Who knows? I don't know. We don't know what's going on, but inside the building, in between those walls. And so there's a lot that has to play out. But I do think that they're kind of lining everything up this week. But I do think that they should try and get this list down from 9 to 5 by the end of the week, if possible. But we'll see. I think that everybody on the list, all variable options. I think that they're all good options, and when I say variable, I mean you can if it's not Udinski, it could be Shieldhouse. That's fine. If it's not Monken, it could be McDaniel. Could be like if it's not McDaniel or Monken, it could be Shieldhouse. When you're looking at the offense, you've got 4 really good options there. I don't think they're that concerned about the defense. I think Schwartz is staying regardless. Whether it's, one of these other guys is the head coach. If McDaniel is the head coach, which I'm not a fan of, but if he is, and Schwartz stays with the defense, or what about a combination of McDaniel, Monken, and Schwartz? 3 former head, 2 former head coaches, Monken, OC, but Harbaugh, a winning coach all those years. Put that triumphant together. That's not so bad either. You got experience there at every level. So it's just, I think it's a matter of how they can get everybody to agree to a role and get it all played out. But again, these decisions, they're not our forte. And I can understand, John Flanders. I understand where you're coming from. Now, Shadeur Sanders is QB1. That we know. They may not come out and say it yet, but we're saying it on this show because what he showed last season, with everything else that was going around him, he deserves the shot for sure to be the franchise quarterback. And I got to tell you that, watching that Bears-Rams game last night, I'm watching the Rams, I'm trying to figure out, Shieldhouse and what, but when the Bears are out there, all I keep thinking is, man, this could be the Browns next year. All you have to do is revamp. You get the right offensive mind and revamp to exactly what they did. Because a year ago, I'd have been sitting here telling you Caleb Williams is a bust. And look at what they did. They took that little bit of experience that he got, and man, oh man, did they rocket him to the next level here in a short amount of time. But it's all of the weapons they put around him, man. Luther Burden, DJ Moore, Oduze, Swift and Manungai, and they revamped that offensive line. We're already halfway there. We got a tight end. We've got 2 good running backs, So very possible. But the viewer comment that inspired this topic came from Vicks 7739. Remember Vicks Vapor Rub? My mom used to put that on us all the time. I don't know if it worked or not, but Vicks. Get the Vicks. Whenever somebody was sick, get the Vicks. All right, we'll get the Vicks. But Vicks 7739 says, what I don't understand is every announcer or sports expert says the Browns have no quarterback. But I've watched a lot of football in my life and can say Shadeur is a great prospect. And with the sound offense, good offensive line, and some weapons, he'll be a great quarterback. And so I did a little digging. I'm like, okay, what's the general consensus right now by the experts on Shadeur? And I'll tell you what, there was way more good than bad when I did some digging. And after his first season in the NFL, Sanders' calling card, precise ball placement on quick game RPOs, and the short to intermediate accuracy. I mean, nothing wrong with that. And he can still layer the ball underneath defenders and keep receivers out of harm's way. He throws people open too. Shows good rhythm passing and mental processing. He catch, set, throw on schedule. Poise, toughness, we know that, and clutch traits. He still has them. The stuff he brought from Colorado, even though he's playing behind a shaky line, takes hits, still delivers throws. I mean, that's what helped us win those games at the end of the season. That Cincinnati game, too. Led the game-winning drive. Brought that late game competitiveness, a willingness to attack downfield and not play scared, which is part of why coaches and media still talk about having something to work with. There's absolutely something to work with there when it comes to Shadeur Sanders. And I got to tell you, like, what they tried to knock him on, it's all coachable. And there was only like a couple of things when you look around. The good definitely outweighs the bad coming out of this rookie season. And everything that was going on, and the Stefanski offense and all that, like there was a complete disconnect between, you can tell, you can see it. Even with the players. The players want Shadeur. So, now that Stefanski's gone, one of the things it's funny that keeps coming out is everybody wondering if Gabriel's going to get traded to Atlanta now. I just don't know what are we going to get for Gabriel. We'll that would be great. That will just tell you everything. If they trade Gabriel to Atlanta, if Kevin wants Gabriel down there, that just tells you everything you need to know, man. That'll confirm everything. The rift between Barry and Stefanski, the whole thing. And so, down there, they're trying to spin it like, oh, their front office is terrible. The Browns, they don't know what they're signing up for, man, with Stefanski. Because it's been 5 years, 6 years of this, man, with Stefanski. But, man, oh, man, how great would it be if they traded Gabriel to Atlanta? It'd be great. It'd be great if we could get something for him. Because I just don't see him. He's barely a backup at this point. Barely a backup. And so, but back to Shadeur, all of those things that we just listed, the ball placement, the rhythm passing, the poise, the toughness, if you got a Grendzynski type who's got that let it rip mentality, and you got Shadeur, and you heard Chris Collins talk about it last night when he was talking about Caleb Williams, and he said they did a great job, Ben Johnson did, of taking what Caleb Williams brings to the game. He said he was always the best athlete on the field. And so they've done a great job of taking what he brings and implementing it into the offense. They're not keeping him from doing what makes him Caleb Williams. Instead, they're allowing him to be Caleb Williams and mixing it in with the offense. That is exactly what we need for Shadeur. You got to have that perfect recipe. We were far from that last year with Stefanski. So it just there was Stefanski's way or the highway. And you saw with Flacco. Flacco couldn't work under those kind of conditions. Goes to Cincinnati, throws for 400 yards a game. I mean, there's so many signs that Stefanski's offense was the problem. And so now it's you have to be excited about seeing Shadeur in a different offense and not having to waste a pick on a rookie that you have no idea. There's no sure thing in this draft. So why would you? Why? There is no reason to do that. So Browns fans, please just lean into this, because quit looking for the next best thing. Because you can't see what we have right here in front of us because you keep looking for the next best thing. And it's already here. Man, just lean into this, please. Make your life a lot easier. The other thing that makes your life a lot easier are the viewer comments. Now, so we had 3 topics inspired by viewer comments, and now we're down to the viewer comment portion of the program. And we will start today with Bink28. Now, I thought it would be really cool if it's very close. Bink28. If he was Bink182, like Blink182, the band. He's got the 8 and a 2 in there, but he's only doesn't have the 1. So Bink28. So it's like Diet Blink182, Bink28. Bink28 says, we need to keep Schwartz and promote him to head coach and have McDaniel as our OC. We will be unstoppable. I'll tell you, Bink, it's on the table. McDaniel's coming in for that second interview. He's been interviewing for OC jobs. So that is on the table. So when I say Grendzynski and Schierhaus, I mean, it might be down to Grendzynski and McDaniel. Because the thing is, Udinski doesn't call plays with the Jags. It's not a lateral move if you bring him in here. You tell him you get the keys to the offense, you get to call plays, you get to do it all. We are upgrading you. Go turn Shadeur into what you did with Trevor Lawrence last year and Sam Darnold the year before. Go. Knock yourself out. Have fun. That's what I mean. What up and coming OC / wannabe head coach wouldn't take you up on that? So I just don't think I don't know if they have the leverage to say I'm only going to be a head coach. I don't know if they're there yet. Him and Shieldhouse. Luther O'Neill. 3329. Luther O'Neill, 33. Love Callahan. He's the best. Well, I got bad news, Luther. Word is our guy, Bill Callahan, is going to go follow Stefabatage to Atlanta. That's the word. And word also is that this was part of the reason he left Cleveland to go to Tennessee to coach for his son. But I guess there was always a plan where it's like Harry met Sally when they told each other, when Harry told Sally, we will never, if we don't have a date on New Year's, we will be each other's date. Well, apparently this might have been one of those deals where Callahan and Stefanski told each other, well, if you have a team and I don't, well, we can always get back together. Okay. And so that's what this sounds like. It sounds like Harry and Sally are getting back together here. And so I don't know if the wagon wheel coffee table will be involved. If you've never seen When Harry Met Sally, it's my wife and I, one of our favorite movies. There's so many good lines. It's such a great movie. But I do think Harry and Sally are going to be getting back together, meaning Callahan and Stefanski, which broke my heart when I saw that. I'm like, oh God, I really wanted, man, that was like the cherry on top. We can get Callahan back here. That's why I said even bringing his kid to be the OC, if you can get him back here. He's more important than the... but I digress. But great take, Luther. I hope I didn't break your heart like mine was broken. David Kaman, 92, or Kamen. I'm going to go Kamen. David Kamen, 9272. The trouble with stats, and this is what we teased at the top. Remember we talked, Leah did another breakdown of the value the quarterbacks bring. You know, we showed you Shadeur finished fourth on her list. He made the offense better. Guys like Jordan Love and, on that list as well. Dak was right behind him. Anyway, David Kamen says, the trouble with the stats is they don't take into the effect the weather. And I thought that was a great point, because Shadeur also had to endure the bad weather at the end of the season. Dylan Gabriel didn't have to deal with any of that. And so, yeah, Shadeur had a couple games that the weather was decent, but you had the Chicago game, you had the Tennessee game, there was some weather that he had to deal with. And so, and you're right, the stats don't always reflect that. Actually, they don't reflect that. So you don't know, like those games they played yesterday in the snow in Chicago and New England, I mean, that beginning of that New England game, I thought, boy, this is going to be 0-0. It's going to go to overtime and somebody's going to have to kick a field goal to win it. But then they settled down and got used to it. But man, they are having trouble holding on to the ball, all kinds of stuff. And then look at all the turnovers in that game. Boy, Stroud. Stroud. Wow. Riker Blackwood -Y8W says, Dave, I like your thought process. That's where I am leaning as well, not the specifics. So I said, Schwartz head coach, get one of the offensive gurus, whether it's Udinski or Shieldhouse. And today I'll even throw in McDaniel. Or, I don't know, Munkin. He's probably fourth on my list. I don't know. I just don't know because he's been with Harbaugh so long. I still think he's going to end up with Harbaugh in New York. But one of those, an offensive guru who just takes over. And then I said, let's promote Ephraim Banda. He's already interviewed with the Jets and the Cowboys for defensive coordinator. Make him the defensive coordinator because he's been with Schwartz. And so Riker likes where I'm going with it. Not the specifics, but that's what I'm saying here. That's why people ask me, who do you want to be the coach? Who do you want? For me, it's more of the model that I want than it is who I want to be the coach. And so, and this could still play out for a while, depending on what's going on and who they, I mean, they haven't even gotten a Shula yet. So we'll see. We'll see. But I appreciate it, Riker. I'm glad we're on the same page. This is a password, so get ready. 1006-I7E says, you would be surprised how they are spinning things in Atlanta. They think they have something in Stefanski and will not listen to the truth. I know. I even had a couple of friends who are Atlanta fans, people that I used to work with in Augusta who are Falcons fans, messaging me yesterday, and I just told them, man, I go, you're getting the guy who, I mean, we couldn't score 20 points for 2 years. I said, we averaged 16 a game, 15 last year. I'm like, what? Like, I don't know what you want me to tell you. His offense is terrible. The one thing he was in charge of is terrible. It's brutal. I mean, good luck with that, Atlanta. Although they are getting Callahan. Man, that is going to be must, and we get to play him next year. That is must-see TV. Oh, God. I have never wanted to root against the coach, but I'm sorry, man. It's hard not to. After, like to throw away this season, what he did last year, and throw away this season. I just don't get it, man. I just don't get it. So, we'll see. They'll find out fast enough. I think this is Matt Ryan making... this is a rookie decision. A guy who thinks he's bringing in somebody who's safe and, I just know how. You see the two. He lucked into the second coach of the year thing. We played the 5 worst teams in the league that year at the end, and Flacco just went nuts. I don't know. And then, he shows up to the playoff game and we get pummeled. The one playoff game he's not at, we won in Pittsburgh. We destroyed him. Not a good coach, man. Not a good coach, man. Sorry, Atlanta. We will end today with @7bell, who says, please review your content before making videos. This information about the coaches was put out last night. #VA Auntie. Now, I appreciate it, 7bell. I appreciate you watching the show. But you have to understand, we record and we upload. And this is a very fluid situation. And I've been waiting to record, because I have other things going on, depending on the day. I mean, I have things that are like, I got 2 kids, I got stuff going on, and so I wait as long as I possibly can to record the show. Sometimes, and even day of, I'll record a show, and 2 hours later, it's been. So that's why we update things in the comments, and so that's why I always say we'll update things as we go on. And this week is going to be impossible to keep up with everything. I'm telling you that right now. It's going to be impossible. And so I do my best. And so I appreciate it. I know what you're saying. I know LaFleur signed the contract, and I know Stefanski signed the deal but it happened literally like an hour after I recorded. And there was no way I was going to be able to, I'm not going to miss church to update the video. This is Browns' latest. This isn't Falcons' latest. This isn't Packers' latest. This is Browns' latest. Now, if something happens with the Browns, you've seen me. I mean, you guys thought I was in a jail cell that time when I was on the golf trip, and I forget what happened. It was something bad. Was it the Judkins thing? I think it was the Judkins thing. And everybody was laughing at me because I found this conference room at this hotel we were staying at just to update the video and put out a new video. And so, when I'm on my trips, with the Shadeurs, the doors, it's called Browns latest. I want to be on the Browns latest. But if it's the Falcons latest, and I said Stefanski's on his second interview and they name him the head coach overnight, I'm not going out of my way. It's just, it is what it is, Same thing with the Packers thing. Said, and that was I was just throwing it in as a laugh because they were saying, somebody's going to trade for LaFleur, and they're talking about the Browns. That's never going to happen. I was just bringing it up to make a point that you can trade for a coach. That's what you have to do with Tomlin if you want him. So I'm sorry, 7bell, that I did not have the absolute, but I said, good luck with that, Atlanta. You knew it was going that way. So, but I appreciate the feedback. I do. But I 100%, if it's Brown's latest, I always work 100% to get you the Browns latest. information, but it's not Packers latest, it's not Falcons latest, especially news about Stefanski. I couldn't care, and like just it's just not going to be high on my list. So there we go. All right, thank you so much, Seven Bell. All right, hey, have a great Martin Luther King Jr. Day. We are going to the Rock Hall today, my wife and I. It's kind of like it's our new thing. We started it last year, and so we'll check out the museums. They're free, so we like to pop in and see some of the sights of Cleveland. Rock Hall is pretty cool, man. When you go and check it out, like they always have some cool stuff. So we're gonna go check out the Rock Hall today. All right, that's gonna do it for today's show. Thanks so much for joining us. Hey, well, we'll just keep trying to update you in the comments when things happen, and then we'll see where we're at. Gonna go fast this week. I think things are gonna start moving really, really quickly. All right, go Browns. We will see you next time.